there, welcome back to Scribbles and Ink Stains. My name is Mary, and if you were to flip through my November stationery favorites, it would look deceptively empty. I was just so overwhelmed with November. Here we are, Thanksgiving Day if you're in North America. We are celebrating. I made the roux. My husband is the one who generally does all the cooking on Thanksgiving. Super fortunate he was a chef when I met him. And yeah, he's willing to do it. It was by no means a dry spell in November for me in stationery. So I thought what I would do instead of unboxing individual items or any of my typical weekly layouts, I thought what I would do would be just share with you an overview of November, what it looked like for me for inks, new pens, my first ever piece of Happy Mail all the way from San Francisco, California, and a new to me Hobonichi that was not part of my original 2023 Hobonichi haul. I did pick up an additional weeks and I will share with you why. As usual, I will have timestamps in the description below. While I will not be unboxing or inking any of these pens, they are all currently inked, and I'll be sharing with you some writing samples of 3 less expensive pens that came into my stash in November. But let's start here. Let's start with my first ever piece of Happy Mail. Simone has a wonderful YouTube channel. If you are here with me, then for sure you are already familiar with Simone. I've been following her for some time. I love her pen reviews, her ink reviews. Many of you no doubt participated in her 2022 ink swap, which she hosted on YouTube. That was all organized by Simone in, I want to say, October. And yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I will link up in the cards, I believe up here on this side, I'll link up in the cards my unboxing from that experience. But it was amazing. She went to an awful lot of trouble, and I feel like everybody who I've encountered online who participated in that is just over the moon thrilled with that experience. Here you go. If you'd like to check out everybody's lovely swatches, there is an Instagram tag. It looks a little light. I know several of my favorite content creators also use that tag here on YouTube, so by all means, if you're interested in trying it out, I would give it rave reviews. My swap partner was super generous, but not just my swap partner, but I feel like everybody who participated, those who actually fulfilled their obligations, really went over and beyond what was required with the criteria. So honestly, great experience. Highly recommend it. Be sure to check it out in 2023. I was watching one of Simone's videos a couple posts ago and noticed that she was talking about sending out Happy Mail, and my mind was blown because I saw my name on her list in her little Happy Mail tracker. So I was really blown away to receive just a super generous note from her encouraging me and my little dinky channel. A really cute cartoon, a postcard, some washi tape, a bookmark for Pen Day, and just the sweetest thoughts. So thank you, Simone. I was really touched. It came the first week of, it arrived on Friday the 4th, and I was just really, really blown away. So this is a strip of one of the washi tapes that she sent. I peeled some off of the packaging, and it's not about the stuff. I love the sticker. I love her artwork and her vibe and her honesty on her channel as she's going through the process of creating. While mostly on my channel I'm talking about inks and things that I bought, I'm a little bit remote in terms of stationery friends and pen friends. So I just was really, really touched by her thoughtfulness, and super nice note. Thank you again, Simone. And because I am so remote, I thought, well, why don't I create a Google form and link it in the description below. On that Google form, if you would like to receive a Christmas mail from me, please fill out that form. I'm open to international, and I just would love to reach out and send a card to those of you who have been frequent commenters on my channel, or any of the rest of you who would just like a little note from me. Let's talk about the inks that I picked up in November. I was pretty disciplined. I did pick up one Noodler's, even though I'm super disappointed with the politics of the owner. He has a pretty terrible reputation, and I probably should not have bought this because it's not quite. This is the Noodler Southwest Sunset. I was looking for a shading ink in a warm autumn colorway. This is probably what I should have bought. And this is just the kind of pen mistakes or purchasing mistakes that I make when life gets really, really busy. I thought I was purchasing this, which I had inked in my little Opus 88 pocket pen. This I loved. This is a beautiful shader. I wrote it dry. I believe that's a medium nib in that pen. How close can I get with this lens? I changed lenses to a faster lens because of course we are all fighting the daylight. It is mid-afternoon, but we're having really cloudy weather. That's what I thought I was buying. I just was thinking this was a Noodler's Southwest Sunset, part of a sampler set that I got from Goulet. I just misremembered what was in that pen and ended up purchasing the wrong bottle of ink. I will ink this in a pen to see if I enjoy it as much, but again, this earthier orange is what I really had in mind. And I won't be purchasing any more inks in December, or I don't plan to, because I did pick up the 2023 Diamine Inkvent. And I'm not sure how good I'll be about posting daily videos. I don't think I can make that kind of time commitment here on this channel. And if you follow me, you get that. You don't need my disclaimer for that. I do expect to have quite a few warm colors in that Diamine Inkvent. So I'm just gonna sort of see what comes into my collection through that advent calendar. And yeah, that's the plan anyway. I don't know how good I'll be at sticking to it. So that was a bit of a bonehead move. I did purchase 2 Ferris wheel press inks. I believe these were released in November or just before November. The Velvet Ballet, which is a gorgeous, a maroony red with silver shimmer, and the Twinkling Tea Party, which is such a charming, charming name. Wouldn't that be a job, naming fountain pen inks? So this one is obviously more of a forest green with some red sheen and a rose gold, I would say, shimmer. So super interesting. Neither one of these are currently in pens, but I will probably ink these into pens in December. Or did I put the Velvet Ballet in a pen? It has been so crazy I can't even remember. Part of the craziness was last week I teach high school English, and we're in a small but affluent county in North Carolina, about an hour south of Raleigh, and we were in the news last week because we had 3 separate incidences of students threatening to come to school with guns and shoot the place up. That was really a traumatic experience for staff, for students, for parents, for the community, and it really just kind of gutted us. Thankfully, nothing happened, but a student was apprehended by law enforcement. I guess you can never take anything for granted, which we all know anyway, but yeah, just horrible that we have to deal with that in this world. So yeah, I won't be writing with these today. Instead, I have 3 other new to me pens. Is this Velvet Ballet? This is actually Velvet Ballet. I misspoke. Obviously, my brain is still a little bit discombobulated. So this is the new TWSBI Glow Purple. And I purchased this in a broad nib. This is my second broad TWSBI nib because I absolutely adore inking my shimmer inks in a broad nib. I'll take just a quick detour here and do a little bit of writing with these 3 TWSBI pens. These 2 are both in bold, and this one I believe is in medium. This is a medium. I can barely see it poking out of the grip section here. Okay, so I will kind of zoom in on a quick little writing sample of all of these shimmer inks in my TWSBIs. These are the TWSBI Ecos. This one is inked with Dominant Industry Autumn Forest. I think it's a beautiful shader, this ink. You can see how it pools as you're laying down ink. You get some nice shading variation. And then for the shimmer, we'll have to wait for it to dry for you to be able to see any of that. This I inked last month, and this is still flowing quite nicely. I'm not noticing anything. In fact, all my TWSBIs always flow quite nicely. Okay, so in my TWSBI Eco T with a broad nib, I have Ferris Wheel Press Queen and Castle, which I've already swatched for you all, but again, this has been in my pen for over a month, so I thought you might enjoy seeing how it writes after being loaded for a month. This ink is even juicier than the Dominant Industry. It's really just pouring out of this pen. Of course, it's a broad. Greenish tan with a rose gold shimmer, and you'll be able to see that in just a minute because it just pours out of that pen. And then the new to me pen and ink, Ferris Wheel Press Velvet Ballet in my glow purple with a broad nib. It's a gusher too. Very wet inks. Velvet Ballet is the perfect name for this lush, deep burgundy velvet color, and then the shimmer is just gorgeous, gorgeous. This is my bag full of Ecos. I did not ink my Noodlers, but let's see, should I do a little writing sample with my Kakimori, even though I'm disappointed with it? Oh, these Noodlers bottles are seriously overfilled. I need to watch that because I probably almost spilled that all over my desk. Very wet with this Kakimori nib. I probably had it overloaded too. The owner sort of has really a nasty reputation for being anti-Semitic and racist and just generally a horrible person, so I really regret buying that ink. That leaves two additional pens that I picked up this month. The Jinhao 159, which I purchased from Amazon thinking I was picking up a medium nib X159, and it turns out I was picking up the older model, not the current X159 model. But I don't regret this. This was something like $7, and I currently have inked in it my Herbin Emeraude de Chivor. So I will give you a little writing sample with this. I ended up flossing this nib. It is a medium nib. Flow was unsatisfactory when it arrived, and I wrote with it for about a week or two, and then thought, oh, well, I've got these little brass sheets from Goulet. This is the perfect time to try them. I don't care if necessarily if I destroy this nib. I usually don't hesitate to jump in and do hands-on things, so I wasn't really that. I'm not sure I even hesitated. I'm glad I flossed it because I could hardly drag the brass sheet through the tines when I first did it, so it really needed to be flossed, and now it flows beautifully. I thought this would just be far too big for my hand, but it's actually not. I enjoy the length. I'll do some reverse writing for you. It's quite good at reverse writing. Smooth. The flow keeps up even in reverse. Happy purchase. It's cheap enough I can take it to school and I don't worry. And this was what I got for Fountain Pen Day, and it looks more expensive than it is. This is the Jinhao knockoff, Jinhao 80, I believe. It's the knockoff of the Lamy 2000. I have another Ferris wheel ink loaded into this. This is a fine nib. This is the Autumn in Auburn. Super pretty orangey ochre. I guess you could call that a raw sienna with some extra orange lean to it. That color's really in my winter wheelhouse. That is a beautiful North Carolina landscape color. Okay, so I am loving those new pens to my stash, and there's just Look at that, that Noodler's ink is still wet. I mean, that's ridiculous to have an ink that's that wet. Yeah, but I've kind of been fighting a little bit of a reading slump, which happens this time of year. I'm just an English teacher and doing an awful lot of reading for work, and sometimes I fall off my personal reading. I do have an account on Goodreads. If you'd like to follow me there, I will put my information down in the description box below. But I think I set a goal for reading of about 100 books this year, and I'm way short of that goal. I was on track until the school year started, and I just have completely fallen off. And while I've done some reading, as you'll see here in my new reading tracker, I'm nowhere near where I typically am with reading, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so I did pick up the Hobonichi Weeks. This is the one with the that features the illustrator Juzo Itami, and I love the whimsical designs on this Hobonichi Weeks. This was going to be my creativity tracker. So last year I used just an old Hobonichi Weeks that I picked up on Amazon to track my reading. I was a little fussier with my setups, and that style doesn't really suit me. The way I take notes on books is more aligned with what you will see here in my 2023 book tracker. I did start it in November, and I don't have a problem with that. I sort of, where I start my reading year doesn't really matter to me. I just enjoy tracking those books that I really fall in love with. So I've got 3, I believe, finished and working my way through a 4th, but I do have 3 complete entries. Obviously, I'm not following the weekly planner. So the way I'm using this planner is just for the beautiful paper, for the creative quotes, for the charming vibe of the illustrator, and it's just where I'm housing my thoughts and some favorite quotes with books that I'm currently reading. Those are stationery experiences that I was able to have in November, and that in large part would not be possible without this community here. So thank you for watching. I hope you all had a lovely November. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you're enjoying a delightful feast with people you love, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao.